Right then, Keir Starmer just handed Nigel Farage the political equivalent of a loaded gun, pointed it at his own feet, and pulled the trigger twice. We're talking about the Gorton and Denton by-election, where the Prime Minister has managed to turn a safe Labour seat into what could be the most humiliating defeat of his premiership. And the best part? He did it entirely to himself. And what triggered this unprecedented act of political self-harm? Sir Keir and Labour's National Executive Committee decided to ban Andy Burnham, the Mayor of Manchester and obvious leadership threat, from standing for Parliament. Their excuse? They wanted to avoid an expensive mayoral election in Manchester that Burnham's candidacy would trigger. But here's the thing, they openly admitted they were worried Reform might win that mayoral race. Let that sink in. Labour's so weak in their own heartlands they're terrified of even holding elections. Let me fill you in on what's been happening. Burnham threw his hat in the ring for this by-election, presumably seeing it as his route back to Westminster and a platform for an eventual leadership challenge. But Starmer and the NEC slammed the door in his face, selecting a new candidate instead. The result? 50 Labour MPs have now publicly called for this decision to be reversed. 50. That's not backbench grumbling, that's open rebellion. Hit subscribe if you want the daily dose of political chaos delivered with actual analysis, because this is falling apart faster than anyone predicted. But here's where the rubber meets the road. By blocking Burnham, Starmer hasn't protected that seat, his gift wrapped it for his opponents. This is now a two-horse race between Reform UK and the Greens, with the left vote splitting like a broken marriage. Reform has announced GB News star Matthew Goodwin as their candidate, and the Greens are currently the bookies' favourite. Think about that for a second. A seat Labour should win in their sleep is now odds-on to go to the bloody Greens, with Reform snapping at their heels. And before we go any further, let's be real for a second. Starmer had a blindingly obvious alternative here. Bring Burnham into Parliament, give him a top cabinet job, maybe even Chancellor, and neutralise the threat entirely. It's like keeping your enemies close, except Starmer's apparently never heard that phrase. In cabinet, Burnham would be restrained, tainted by association, forced to defend government policy. If you're enjoying this breakdown of pure political incompetence, go ahead and subscribe. Here's where it gets interesting. Starmer's advantage against a potential challenge from Wes Streeting is that the Health Secretary would be guilty by association with this government's failures. Not so for Burnham. Now here's the kicker. Burnham remains outside Parliament, completely free to build a resistance, stir the pot, and strike when the time is right. Starmer's created the perfect leadership rival, experienced, popular in the north, and now with a grievance and 50 angry MPs backing him. So let's break down what this actually means for normal people. First, the immediate political impact is catastrophic. If Labour loses this by-election to either Reform or the Greens, the vultures will circle Starmer like never before. Second, the broader implications show a Prime Minister so politically inept he can't even rig a selection process without creating a disaster. Third, the electoral consequences. Labour's so weak they're openly admitting they're terrified of Reform in Manchester. So here's the deal. Starmer tried to outmaneuver a rival and instead created a martyr, enraged his own MPs, and potentially handed a safe Labour seat to his opponents. It's the political equivalent of trying to defuse a bomb with a sledgehammer. Keep an eye on this. The Gorton and Denton by-election is coming this month, and if Labour loses it, Starmer's colleagues may never forgive him. Subscribe if you want tomorrow's inevitable drama delivered with the same energy, because when this result comes in, the fallout is going to be absolutely spectacular.